was very high, Colin's pretty low. Good morning, everybody. Firstly, thank you so much for having me as your guest speaker. It gives me great honor and great pleasure to be part of this team here today. And might I just say that thank you to each and every one of you sitting here for everything you've done for the world of rescue and for all your innovation. So my name is Achmat Hassiem. Now you're probably wondering, why Sharkboy? Well, let me take you through a bit of a story. So, as you can see the title, The Shark and the Butterfly. So you guys are going to enjoy yourselves this morning with a bit of a story from me. And my story starts with us being at Muizenberg Beach in Cape Town, South Africa. Well, as we sit here, we all have dreams, don't we? We all have dreams to achieve something amazing, to go out there and have our ideas follow through. We all want to do something insane, you know? We want to live our lives. It's who we are. Well, I'm here to tell you that everything is possible. Okay? So, there we are, ladies and gentlemen, at Muizenberg in South Africa, Cape Town, where I live. And this is where I did my life saving as a lifeguard. And I remember as a child, my dream was to represent my country in any sport possible. Why? Because I was lying next to my mom on the bed, and I was watching TV. And I remember watching South Africa play New Zealand in cricket. And I was lying there and I said to my mom, how did the South African team get to New Zealand? And she said, on an aeroplane. And I said, cool. The kit that they wear, the gear, the green and gold of South Africa, who pays for that? And my mom said, no, the Federation. I was like, cool. The hotel that they stay at, who pays for that? Achmat, the Federation. I was like, okay. Last question. Do they get paid to play? Mom's like, yes. So I'm thinking to myself, Mom, what do you do? It's like, I'm a teacher. So you basically work at 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock job. She's like, yes. And I'm thinking to myself, there are soccer players out there that go to practice, kick a ball around, and by the end of that week they make millions. And I'm comparing the two jobs, my mom's job and Cristiano Ronaldo's job. And I'm thinking to myself, I want to be that guy that kicks a ball on the field and get paid at the end of the week, you know? So that began my journey on trying to don the green and gold. This is where the adventure begins. And I tried everything, you know, people looked at my height and they were like, oh, you should play basketball. And I tried basketball until I met this girl. This girl came up to me one day and she looked down on me. And she said, watch this. And she dunked the ball in the hoop. And I thought to myself, well, basketball is not the calling. What else? Right, let's try rugby. Why? Because I'm nice and tall, I'm a big lad. So let's make him lock. So now for those who don't understand, the lock is the guy that when the ball gets thrown in, he's the guy that stands there and you've got to grab him by the shorts. And you've got to lift him up. And then he grabs the ball and passes it on. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the worst positions in the world. Why? Because every time you come down, you have the wedgie that you cannot release. So there you are, you grab the ball, you come down, the first thing you do is this. And that was it for me. So I tried every other sport, and eventually I found myself being a goalkeeper for a soccer team. Why? Because they were like, but you can be the goalkeeper. Because I'm nice and tall, all I need to do is fall one side and stop the ball. And I thought, okay, wow, you know, I'm going to be goalkeeper for the South African soccer team one day. I'm just going to try and perfect this. But, on the same time, I'm in high school. And in high school, we need a job. Why? Because we want to go to the movies, you know, we want to do this, we want to do that. And today's generation, when they go to the movies are not cheap anymore. Because everything's in 3D, The popcorn is bigger, the cool drink is bigger, so everything is really expensive, okay? And I thought to myself, you know what, I need to find myself some work. And that's where I found myself being at the beaches of Falls Bay. And I became a lifeguard. Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing job. Because we all grew up watching Baywatch. And I mean, there's only one job that requires you to wear the smallest little costume and walk around with a torpedo boy and some glasses. And before you go out, you shine yourself up with some sunblock. And you're patrolling the beach. And you're just glistening in the sun. And you're spinning the torpedo boy just like Buchanan. And you're standing there. And the person goes down into the water. And you look at her, and you run in, and everything goes into slow motion. And you toss the torpedo on one side, and you hold on to the strap over your head, and you're running into the water. The crowd gathering because they're watching you as you go in. You dive into the water, you undulate, you just stay underwater, and you rise, and you get to the patient, and she's there, and you, man, just hold on. You give her the torpedo boy, and you swim back to the water. Grab her underneath the arms, you hold her head, and you bring her down nice and slow. Don't worry, ma'am, I've got you. And there's this really cool connection between the two of you now because I just saved your life. So what better way than to become a superhero than to be a lifeguard? I mean, we all grew up wanting to be superheroes. I mean, as we're all sitting here, we still wish we could have certain powers, whether it's teleportation, whether it's lasers from the eyes, anything, you know, we all wish that we could be superheroes. And that is one way to be a superhero. So there I am, and I find myself on Muizenberg Beach. And as I look at this picture, I'm thinking to myself, ladies and gentlemen, August the 13th, 2006. I was at Falls Bay Life Surfing Club, and it was a Sunday morning. A Sunday morning at about 11:15 a.m. And we were doing what's called multiple patient rescues. Now, with multiple patient rescues, what we would do is we would launch a rescue boat into the water to pick up patients in the water and then bring them back to the shore. Very simple, easy, right? And myself, my brother, and a friend of mine, we were going to be the patients. We were going to act as patients who needed rescuing. And I remember there I was, my friend immediately ran into the water and he got to about chest deep. And he said, right, this is my rescue point. So he was the guy who was in the shallows of the water. Then there's the position in the middle. Then there's the third position. And the third position is the deepest one in the water. Now, if you were walking in my jungle, and there's one thin narrow path, and there were 3 of you, and in my jungle is everything you could possibly be terrified of: clowns, lions, spiders, bears, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Everything lives in my jungle. And there were 3 of you walking on this narrow path. Where would you want to be? In the middle, right? Because why? It's the safest position. If something had to take out the person in front, it gives you an opportunity to turn around and run the opposite way. Takes out the person in the back, gives you an opportunity to run forward. So either way, you're the safest. And that's what I thought on the day. And there I was in the middle, and my brother got dropped 10 meters away from me. So he's the deepest in the water. And as the whistle goes off, and the rescue boat enters the water to pick us up, I remember looking out at my brother. So I'm staring towards the depths of the water. So I'm looking out. And something catches the corner of my eye coming from Muizenberg Mountain towards my brother. And I look at this, and I see this little triangle just moving towards my brother. And I look at this little triangle, and at the time I prayed that this triangle was one of 2 things. Number 1, a very happy seal. Number 2, the friendliest dolphin you could possibly meet on earth. And at that point I decided to look underneath the water and see what is attached to this fin. And that's when I saw a 4.7 meter meter great white shark moving towards my brother. At that point, as a lifeguard, we are trained to assess situations and try and keep as calm as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a 4.7 meter great white shark in the water. You try and assess and stay calm as much as you can, okay? And there I was, and I looked around to see where the lifeguards were. And they had just picked up my friend in the shadows. And I screamed at them and I said, "Go get my brother out of the water, we've got some trouble." And they had a look of confusion on their face because they knew they had to pick me up next. But I screamed at them and I said, "Go, go, get him out, get him out." And I thought, you know what, they're not going to get to my brother in time. And the shark was moving at a speed towards my brother. So at that point, what I did was I started drumming on top of the water. Drumming to try and draw the shark's attention off my brother and towards myself. He is my younger brother after all. And the next thing I know, the lifeguards drove past me and they got to my brother. And that's when I saw that shark fin just turn around and come towards me. And as it came towards me, I remember this fin just going down into the water. So at that point, I tried to make myself as big as possible. And that's when she came up from my right-hand side. And as they were busy pulling my brother into the rescue boat, that's when she came up from my right-hand side. Didn't attack me at first, just kind of swam to investigate what I was. She swam so close to me that I could remember just crawling along her body as she swam. And that's when a pectoral fin hit the side of my leg, and I lost balance in the water, and I actually fell on top of the tail. At that point, she started splashing in the water. I remember this tail just splashing. And what she was trying to do was turn her body around to put her mouth towards where I am. In a matter of seconds, I was face to face with this 4.7 meter great white shark. I remember seeing her tail in the background just propelling this massive missile coming towards me. And at that point, she kind of just lunged up and she started gnawing at me. Okay? And it did something like this. Okay? And if you imagine, for those South Africans that are here, as you can see, the shark is from Cape Town. So in Cape Town, most people have their front teeth missing. So there I was in front of this. And what I did was, at that point, I just kind of reached out, okay? I reached out towards her nose. Why? Because immediately as she came towards me and her mouth just kind of opened, okay? I could remember seeing her eyes roll back. And I thought, you know, Achmat, this is your opportunity to survive. So what I did was, I thought of the movie Free Willy. Now in the movie Free Willy, the boy rides the whale. So there I was. She comes towards me, and I take my left hand and I reach out towards her. And I put my hand on top of her nose, okay? And what I did was I pushed her to move myself out of the way. I used her strength. And I got to just behind her eye. And what I did was I took my hip and I threw it into the side of her body. And all I had to do now was take my right leg and throw it over her body. And then maybe just slide over the dorsal fin and kind of steer back to the shore. No one's ever tried it, so we will never know if that works. But there I was, and I slid to the back of her, and I was literally almost there. All I had to do was just throw this leg over. And at that point, my right leg did not want to come forward. And I couldn't understand why this leg was not coming forward. So at that point, I kept tugging, and my plan is just not working. So I turned around to see where my right leg was. And that's when I saw that half my leg was in the mouth already. At that point, she shook me on top of the water and immediately pulled me underneath. But just before I got pulled underneath, I remember screaming at the lifeguards. And I looked at my brother, and I reached out for my brother, and I said, "Tariq, please don't let me die." And that's when I got pulled underneath the water and I got dragged for about 50 meters towards the depths of the ocean. At that point, underneath the water, while hanging on the side of the body, I remember thinking to myself, this is the end. And the worst part of it all was listening to the sound of the rescue boat's engine disappearing in the background as I got dragged further and further away. because that sound was my only hope of survival.